KZX Big Rapids. This is what happens when you give a bunch of locals a radio station and tell them to play the 80s and more. B1039.
Morning sun lights the day, Pat and Brian on the way. Stories of a small town life. Sports and joy cut like a knife. Hot stove leading for chat. High school dreams and college stats. Wednesday morning tales unfold. Memories and news retold. Tune in B1039. Curry's voice and life's sweet line. Sheriff Miller by his side. Lively bluegrass. Hearts alive.
And here we are, brought to you by Zott's Bar and Grill here in Big Rapids, and by Steve and everybody at Big Rapids Tire. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Bob.
Pat
Good morning,
Curry.
Sheriff.
Morning.
Sheriff Miller. That's a ring to it, doesn't it, Bob?
It does. It's a good ring.
Well, we got another great day coming ahead of us. God has gifted us one more day anyway. And, it's ironic. This morning I woke up and I like to listen to a little music, and I had Celine Dion.
All right.
Really?
And
Wow.
thank you for another day.
That's
Do
not
you have
Toby
that
Keith.
song? Do you have that song, Bob?
Which I'd have to know the title.
Celine Dion.
Yeah.
It's,
But she's got a lot of
Thank
songs.
You for another day. Look it up just for the heck of it. You don't have to play it, but thank you for another day. I think it was, yeah. Gosh, just a beautiful song. But anyway, life's good. Sports programs are great. I got to tell you a little bit. Last night, went to Mount Pleasant, and the St. Mary's 5th, 6th grade team, 7th, 8th grade team played up teams over there. And when I say up teams, the 5th, 6th played their 7th and 8th, and our 7th and 8th played their 9th and 10th. They both won. And my hat's off to the coaches for a minute, because that Tiffany Rakoff, she's a client from the Reed City area, she's a pretty good athlete up there. You know Tiffany. And Christy Borderline, she was a Ferris, I think, volleyball up there, right?
Yep.
Both
Soccer, I think.
Maybe it's soccer, yeah. But they both really enjoy what they're doing, but they're very good coaches, and they won last night. That team that they played was much bigger, but they just aired them. These girls, St. Mary's girls, they aired them. I mean, what I mean by they just stayed out there and ran up and down that court until the other team got expired, and they beat them by 12. And I just looking at the different teams, and they had talent on their team too, but they just couldn't stay with them.
Right.
KK and all her teammates, the little Rakoff girl, I call her Tiger. They're not very tall, but man, they play tough ball. And then the 7th and 8th grade team played a strong 9th and 10th grade team, much larger than them. Same thing happened there. But Tom Tacey and my son Matt coached that team. Tom's, of course, a good athlete. Mm-hmm. He's got some good history of coaching behind him, must be, because he'd done a nice job with them last night. They both won. But that Tiffany Rakoff and Christy Borderline.
Bordays.
Huh? Bordelais?
Yeah, Borday.
Yeah, Bordelais, I'm sorry. French, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. Jimmy looks
don't
French.
You think, Bob, Bordelais? Jimmy?
Bordelais? Bordelais would be French, yeah.
That's what I call him. Bordelais, right? Borderline?
Depends on the...
Bordelais.
Yeah. Depends on the
Borderline,
spelling.
that was a Madonna song.
Oh, that's why I
Borderline.
got that. Yeah.
Ding, ding.
Well, anyway, great game last night. And Big Rapids Cardinals, they played a great game last night, right? Did you go, Brian? Do you know about it, anything?
No, we had a office employee recognition evening last night.
Dan Spadowski went to it. He goes to a lot of their games. He's pretty impressed, He said that, played a good game. I don't even know who they played. Somebody can call in and tell us. Maybe Coach Tim Blashill will tell us who they played. But
They played Lakeview last night.
oh yeah, well it's Class D school.
They've kind of gone down. They were a little bit bigger back in the day. I used to ref a lot of high school basketball and did a lot of Lakeview games back in the day.
I wouldn't be a ref for nothing. Oh my Lord, do they catch heck, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Except unless you're a big football player, ref, and then they don't say much to you. I think
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
too.
it's tough. It takes thick skin.
Do you still ref?
No, I don't have time.
But you used to though, didn't you?
I did high school football, high school basketball, did some high school baseball and softball back in the day.
Well, right now focusing on hockey. I know we have a great basketball team there and a wrestling program up there and all them winter sports. But right now, it's these hockey people are out there full strength. We've had a great year. Coach Tim Blashill, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good, yeah. Thanks again for a great year and what you're doing up at Ferris there, the ice arena there. I was up there a couple times for basketball games and volleyball games. You saw me there. I went to a couple volleyball games. In fact, my wife said we're buying season tickets next year.
Nice.
So say what you want to, folks, but I'm telling you what, when you win, people will come.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm on the bandbox with them, but I do want to support them because I always have liked Tia. I've always thought of her as a person. She's a very good person. And it's just time consuming. But now that I'm kind of retired, we can be able to do things like that, you know. So that's why we're going to be getting probably season tickets for volleyball next year, you know. And one thing about volleyball, Tim, if you don't understand it, it doesn't take too long to understand the excitement. That's what it's all about anyway, you know. I mean, why did she do that? Well, it's obvious. She just scored, you know. So it is an exciting sport, and I want to thank President Eisler and the rest of the group at that time that supported the addition to the new volleyball facility, folks. It's very nice.
Beautiful.
And Tim, I got to tell you something. I've been into a lot of gyms, and some of them I'm not too proud to say I was in the dirty, filthy things. But Ferris State, you do a great job up there. It's very clean. I look at things like that because if you come in my gas station, it better be clean. And your seats were very clean. I was proud to say I was from Big Rapids, Ferris State. And then your hallway out there and the corridor there was clean. The basketball place, your basketball court was clean. So thanks a lot, Tim.
Yeah.
So anyway.
For sure. No, it was an exciting year, and that addition has been awesome. And to be honest, like I've always been a fan of volleyball, but this year was something special, and it was exciting. And those games were special. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Well, just to show how much work is put in the off season, yesterday morning we have honor guard training. Our law enforcement honor guard group, we train once a month, and we were up there 6:30 yesterday morning, and you had the football team in Wink Arena and the rubber room, and then Tia and Matt with volleyball players in the volleyball arena, all doing their off-season things at 6:30 in the morning. I mean, that place was a hopping.
Volleyball they're playing right now? Or
just off-season.
Yeah.
Really?
Spring season.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. So they can practice a certain amount per week, and then they actually do some spring games as well. So
They lost some this year, didn't they, after?
couple, some very good players, but pretty solid team coming back still.
Right, and then recruiting, it's probably unfair to ask you because I know you're the facilitator up there, but not the coach. I'm pretty sure she probably recruited some pretty good people. I wonder if any of them around here.
I'm not exactly sure, but Tia does a great job year in and year out with recruiting, and certainly he has picked up some players locally, that have been a big factor for him.
Boy, you've had a lot of fun up there being you run that. I know your book's full. You were there that night, and I'm thinking, wow, he coaches our hockey team, and then he's taking care of everything up here, making sure it's run right. You do quite a bit. Are you ahead of the concession stand too?
Not anymore. Actually, concessions is through our dining on campus, which is nice. They've done a good job, kind of renovated it. And updated it, but we work with them and we kind of oversee it. And certainly during the winter season, it's busy, no question. But wouldn't have it any other way.
Do you have to? I know you run it, but you do all the scheduling too for everything that goes on in there.
I oversee, directly, the ice arena scheduling. And then we have Stephanie Shaw that kind of handles our outdoor scheduling. And then Josh Seidema handles the indoor scheduling. So between the three of us, we kind of oversee all the scheduling. And it's a lot, but they do a great job too.
Yeah, you love it though, don't you?
I do.
What would you be doing right now, you think, if you didn't have that?
I honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. At one point when I was young, I wanted to be a police officer, but
built big enough. Could be.
There you go.
Well, that being said, you're enjoying this year.
Yeah.
You're having a good year, aren't you?
We're having a really good year.
I know JJ Stokeridge works for me at the gas station, and I've really gotten a liking that man. He's going to be a good young man when he gets out in the real world. But hard-working fella, and that must be why you guys got a good team. You got a lot of good workers out there. But I asked him about this second half of the season, what changed you guys? And he goes, I think we just found ourselves, and we found out we went down deep. Coach got us to thinking that maybe we are something special. So, you're doing pretty good, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I mean, the kids have really responded the second half, and we've basically, we're one game under 500 right now, but we've come a long ways, had a 6-game winning streak, and they've had it in them. And again, we have great, hardworking kids, but we also have that mix of skill with that, and Brody's a great example of that.
You got a pretty hard schedule too, though, and you're playing some money teams out there that they get some pretty good kids from all over to play on their team. I mean, it's not like a chicken team, is it?
No, it's
pretty good. And you're staying close with them.
Yeah.
The ones that you did get beat, you only like this past weekend you split, didn't you, or something? Or
we did, yeah. We won on Friday 4-3 in overtime, and then we lost 4-3 on Saturday. But we do. We're an independent team, so we're not in a league. But it's kind of nice because we've been able to set our schedule and be able, afford to play some of these teams. And like we always say, it's about the end of the year, and that's what we practice and play for. So
you got. When is the last game?
Last game is actually this Friday, 8:45 down at
Patterson.
Patterson.
Is it Patterson?
Patterson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Patterson.
Ice Arena down in Grand Rapids off the 28th Street.
Oh, 28th Street. Okay.
Yeah, against East Grand Rapids.
And then you have tournaments.
Yeah.
Do you have any tournaments here then?
We do. We're actually hosting our regional this year. So, So we actually turn around and play on Tuesday. Will be our first playoff game versus Manistee at home, 7 p.m. And then the winner of that will actually play East Grand Rapids, who's the number 1 seed in our region, semifinal on Thursday. And then Grand Rapids Catholic Central and Grand Rapids Christian are the other 2 teams in the semifinal.
Is that Brody or Ozowski here?
Brody Ozowski.
Yes,
we have 2 captains, Isaac Zacco and Brody Ozowski.
Okay.
So I thought, what better way to get into the regionals, get some people out there, get them to know the team, promote what Coach is doing, and the 2 captains. Isaac's not here yet, but the 2 captains and Coach, because there was one game this year that was significant to me, and that was Midland Dow, and just the students were let out that day to come watch.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was a boycott, but okay.
But the energy in the arena that day, it was something special, and they came out, the team did, and jumped out 3-0, and it was just like, they smacked this team in the face, knocked them down, and they didn't know what to do. And in Midland Down's, a good team, and I think that's the potential that these guys have.
They make movies of sports, baseball, Field of Dreams, and you have your football films on that, and then the Ugly Ducks or whatever it was on hockey, but in all reality, to really generate some excitement for your team, you ought to take them and have them watch USA play in Russia back in 1982 or 72. What year was that?
It's 1980.
Yeah.
1980. I remember that well. That was the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
And we were the underdogs going into the Olympics, actually. Czechoslovakia, I think, had a great team that year, and Russia had a great team. And I think Ohio State had a good team, that country. Only kidding. I was talking to Randy Better this morning. We were talking about something about, and I said, Georgia, that's a country, isn't it? And Randy looks at me like, whoa, you're ready for altar care. But anyway, that was a heck of a game. And the reason I say that is it's almost like you ought to have your team watch that, because USA went in there, Brody, and this is 20 years before you were born, 30 years before you were born. And I tell you, I wasn't a hockey enthusiast, but mainly back then, Brody, it was all Canada. And Canada had a great team that year, too, I think. And I think we beat them in the semis, didn't we? I don't know.
Well, the semis was Russia.
Yeah.
Were you even born?
I was. I was 4 years old at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anyway, Big Rapids, 1980, we had hockey here at Ferris, but it was new to us. And that right there, even if you didn't know hockey, this whole town was flared, wasn't it? Oh, you weren't here, Brian. Here. But were you born?
Jackson. Yeah, I was.
How old were you?
8.
We'll talk about something else then. I'm sorry. I thought I had some guys my age here, but I tell you what, you And they have a movie made of that, don't they?
Oh,
Yeah.
My kids'
Watch
favorite
it.
hockey. Oh my God. My
Okay,
Cooper,
good.
when he was little, could recite
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I think we just watched it on the bus.
Oh,
This
you
past
did?
Saturday. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that I was alive and I was probably 26, 7 years old. Everybody in America was watching that game. And I'll tell you, third period came, 3 periods, right?
Yep.
100% of America was watching because we weren't even supposed to be even close.
Yeah.
Did it go into overtime?
It didn't. No.
They won it. Unbelievable. It just gives me chills.
Yeah.
But that's what that sport is all
Yeah.
about, isn't it?
Well, and Russia actually played USA, I think.
Earlier.
Yeah, earlier in an
And
exhibition
killed them.
and lost like 11-1.
Right.
So it wasn't even, and those were professionals
Right.
versus
Yes.
college kids. You know.
Yeah, because some of the American players went over that were playing here on teams went over and played on the Olympic.
Yeah. They were basically professionals.
And we had
yeah.
college kids.
College kids. Yeah.
I can't remember who. Red was the coach.
Herb Brooks.
Or Brooks.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you what. So anyway, Brody, the reason I say that is never think East Grand Rapids is going to plow over you guys. I mean, they were the underdogs. Vegas went nuts, man. They paid off big time there. I mean, anybody that would have bet on that one.
Well,
wow.
Coach and Brody can probably talk about last year because I think that's actually kind of what set up the game that we have Friday was last
That
year.
way?
Yeah, I'll let them talk
Yeah,
about it
go ahead.
'cause I was there, but it was awesome.
It is interesting how these things work out, and I actually, we talk about Midland Dow. The last time we won the regional was 2019-20, and we played Midland Dow the last regular season game on a Friday and lost, I think, 5-1, and then we turned around, had to play them in the playoffs, and we upset them on Tuesday of the next week. Wow. So I think there's some similarities there in terms of how that works out. Last year we played East Grand Rapids in the first round. We were down 4-0, and came back and tied it.
Really?
In the third period, and I mean, just an amazing one of those moments in time, that you'll never forget.
And in overtime, hit the crossbar. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow, yeah.
And then they went on to they're the defending runners up.
They
2
lost
years in a
to
row.
Cranbrook?
They lost to Cranbrook, in the finals.
So my hat's off to you.
Yeah.
That's got a little bit of coaching in there. Get those guys to. No, it is.
It
I mean,
is.
you
Yeah.
should be proud of yourself, Tim. I mean, I know you probably take a lot of heat, from parents. Why isn't my kid playing on the front line? I don't know how many. See, I'm getting pretty good. You have 3 lines, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Did your homework?
See, I'm getting pretty good,
that's
aren't I?
good.
Yeah. But Brody, let's talk to you a little bit. You got a little height on you. You're one of the taller Ozowskis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's your dad?
My dad is John Ozowski.
Okay, yeah. And then Tom's your uncle, and
Neil.
yeah,
Neil.
and
And Rick, too.
So it's kind of family tradition to play in hockey, isn't it?
Yes, sir,
Your
yeah.
dad played, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And your uncles, everybody did, huh?
His dad was all state.
Huh?
His dad was all state defenseman
really?
back
Yeah.
in the day. Yeah.
So Grandpa made sure everybody played when
Yeah,
they were little.
I'm pretty sure it was more my grandma, actually. She wanted everyone to play.
Yeah. Do they come to your games?
Yeah, they still do, yeah.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Are you one of the older grandkids or no?
I'm one of the youngest.
Oh, you're one of the youngest. Mm-hmm. Wow. What the other ones all played too, eh?
Most of them played basketball. They went to Morley Stanwood.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Rick and Randy's kids all
No,
went
I'm
down
only
to Morley.
kidding. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Where do you go to school then?
I go to school at Big Rapids.
Well, I didn't know if you could
He's a
play
St. Mary's
sports
kid,
here and
Pat.
go somewhere else, huh?
He's a St. Mary's kid, too.
Oh, are you? Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. What did? So you've had a great year. Are you a senior this year?
Junior.
Oh, you got another year then. Mm-hmm. Well, so what's your incentive to win? Why don't you just wait till next year? Hold out for red shirt.
Why not make it 2?
There you go. Yeah. You got a pretty good team, eh?
Yeah.
What position you play?
I'm a center forward.
Okay. So is that important?
Yeah.
What do you do? What's your
Pretty
work?
much just win draws and, just get the puck kind of.
Oh, so
pass
when
to
the
teammates.
puck's dropped, you're the stick there?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You score a lot?
I
Is
think
that your
so.
job? I don't know. I mean, I don't know a lot about hockey. Everybody out there in Wonder World probably wonders
He's one
a
of
little
our,
bit about too.
if not our leading point getter in the top couple. He everything goes through him.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So how important is the goalie?
Pretty important.
Yeah. And then who is that on your team?
We have 3 this year. We have Nick, Grindel, Ari Zivska, and Holden Foos.
What's their names again?
Nick Grindell, Ari Ziska, and Holden Foos.
Okay, yeah, they're doing well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, I was talking with one of Tim's assistants here a couple months ago, and he goes, we might have the best goaltending in the state overall.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah,
Just,
no, it's
when
been
you look at the goaltending and all three of them, he goes, we might have that bet the best.
Yeah, Nick actually moved back to town. Used to play up until he was a squirt. His dad's Dr. Grindell, Scott Grindell, and they moved out of town and happened to move back this year as a senior. So it's worked out well, and it's a luxury. It's a tough thing, but it's a great thing.
I know back in the old days, it was very competitive to be a goalie.
Yeah.
And some of them didn't like sitting out. They're playing as a team this year, I hope.
Yeah, they actually push each other. They help each other. It's been great. I really appreciate that. It helps the team, and so they've been really good with that competition.
So how do you prepare for this first game? Against who is it again, Manistee?
Friday we play East Grand Rapids, and then Tuesday next week, first game of regionals is Manistee Lakeshore Badgers.
Oh, so you're playing East Grand Rapids?
Yeah.
It's an exhibition
It's a last regular season game.
Oh, wow.
And then we turn around and hopefully, we'll play Manistee first, and then we win that game. Then we'll play East Grand Rapids next Thursday
at home.
At home.
So East Grand Rapids is you're going down there
on Friday. Yeah.
That's at that Patterson one on 28th Street.
Yeah.
So what's your feelings on East Grand Rapids? Have you ever played them before?
Remember last year?
Yeah. But I mean this year. Have you played them this year?
Nope. No. But it's good to play them. Before like Thursday if we make it to that game. So
right.
Get a little experience with them.
You know them pretty much. You guys change films? No.
We do.
Yeah.
We do have film on them from this year. We'll have film, obviously from Friday playing them as well. So I kind of like that. I think it's a nice thing to have, leading in, and no matter the outcome, I think we'll be prepared for next week.
Now, will you do a little gambling on that game, Tim, as a coach?
What?
Strategy-wise?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay,
I wasn't sure where you're going.
I'm just curious. I would, but I just wonder what you do.
You're 100% right. I had a chance last night to go to dinner with Derek Lalonde, who's a former Red Wings coach, who's in town right now, and so I was talking to him about that, and we have in the past, and I think the kids kind of get a kick out of it, but we'll do some different things Friday that we won't do on next week.
Right.
And we'll throw a couple curveballs their way for sure.
Yeah.
And their coach is a great guy. He's a good friend of mine, but he's also he gets really into it. So he's going to be breaking down that film, and we'll throw him a couple different things.
I know we've had you on here before, folks. Tim is from Sault Ste. Marie.
Yes, sir.
And you played up there.
I did.
In high school.
Yep.
And then did you play college?
I did. I played 2 years of junior hockey in Indianapolis, and then back in the Sioux, and then I played out east, just outside of Buffalo, Division III hockey at Fredonia State.
So then you decide to hang up the cleats and say, I'm going to.
Yeah, my brother was a player here, and then a coach here, graduate assistant, and then he got a full-time job, and then I ended up taking his graduate assistant position.
Yeah, your brother used to do the city tickets downtown for 7 Court.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I remember him when he
He's a meter maid. That's what
Big Rapids has had some very successful people.
Yeah.
You're one of them too.
Yeah.
But where's your brother at now? I just want to touch on that a little bit because a lot of people knew your brother here.
Yeah, for sure. He's assistant coach with Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay, so he likes that.
Yeah, he actually loves that. Another good friend of ours is the head coach there, and then Brian Garlock. Local,
that's right.
Brian, he's their video coach, so a lot of connections there.
We do.
Yeah.
So Lalonde got let go of the Red Wings here, and that happens in that sport. He was here, you say?
Yeah, he's actually in town. He's kind of, obviously he's got some time right now, and it's a unique time. He's got some kids playing hockey at different places, so he's been able to go watch them play a little bit. He's actually with Ferris today, just kind of observing and hanging out with the Ferris guys, and so a nice thing for them as well.
Yeah, because he brings a lot of the pro stuff here.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break here. Bob, why don't you lead us off on a prayer?
Okay. Thank you for
a break.
this day.
I'm not in church, Jim.
Yeah.
We should be.
There
Should
you
be
go.
praying.
Yeah.
All right.
Anytime. That's good.
Take a break.
It's 25 after 9 on Curry's Hot Stove League. Come say cheers at Zot's Bar and Grill in Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people, where everybody knows your name. Zot's, people's choice for best soup. You don't want to miss their award-winning burgers and chili as well. Originally opened in 1933 and serving it up ever since. Seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Roxanne and Doug at Zot's Bar and Grill are proud sponsors of the Signature Player of the Week for the Curries Hot Stove League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
Hey, this is Andrew from Big Rapids Tire. Putting off winter, good idea for some, but in reality, pretty much impossible. And if you wait too long to get snow tires, you'll be saying,
should have done it sooner. Dang it.
or something slightly more harsh. Last thing you want is to be slipping and sliding, or even worse, delayed, because you can't get out of your driveway. Get fresh new snow tires from Big Rapids Tires. There's no better feeling than to confidently take on the roads in the rough weather with good solid snow tires on your car. Confidence and peace of mind. Priceless. Big Rapids Tire. There for you, whatever the weather. Fast and friendly service on Northland Drive, just north of Big Rapids. Call 796-4839. That's 796-4839. Big Rapids Tire.
Back to you, Bob. Oh, we're done with that. Big Rapids Tire and Zot's Bar. What two great people there. Steve, Brock, Andrew's taking over from his daddy there, and Doug's kind of taken off where Roxanne left off. No, that's a different company. No, we don't want to talk about that. Love you, Doug. Love you, Roxanne. Thanks from Zot's. Back to Tim Blashill. He's the coach of the hockey team here at Big Rapids High School, and we got Brody Ozowski here.
Captain,
yeah. Junior at the high school here. Academically, I'm sure he's a 4-point. His dad was, his mother was. I'm sure his cousins were, and so you got a lot there to build on. But I'd like to talk to the coach a little bit more. Tim, you know a lot of people in high places in hockey, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's, we say hockey's a small world, and it definitely is. But they're also great people, people at high levels that will absolutely take the time to talk to you, and certainly a lot of contacts over the years. And I really appreciate that. I think my life has been around hockey, and last night was a good example of that,
So do you ever talk to like your brother about maybe some of the decision making that you are about to make, or maybe you said, well, I shouldn't have done that. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I talk to Jeff probably once every couple weeks at least, and then obviously I've been blessed to be able to work with Bob Daniels and those guys, right outside my office. You talk about hockey, knowledge and just being able to bounce things off them for years. So
Bob,
amazing.
In one word, is it amazing? Yeah. He is. I've known him since he came to town. So, how many years he came to town? 40 years ago, probably. He's endured so many things up there, from criticism to championship years. And, nothing seems to bother him. I think he really realizes life's one time around, and he's going to enjoy every day of it, because it doesn't matter where you see him. He's always positive and enlightening to talk to, and so we're going to miss an icon, that's for sure. He's a legend, and I'm just so happy for him that he can go into a second life here and enjoy a little bit about it instead of working all the time, because he sure is a workaholic, isn't he?
No question, and we're excited. Obviously he's a big loss, and it's but I'm happy for his next step in life, and where he wants to do some things, and he's a big golfer, so
they're taking their time, aren't they?
Yeah,
appointing somebody.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a process, but we're hoping it continues on, and lots of good candidates out there.
Yeah. What did so you do ask your brother once in a while what maybe I should be doing here or whatever, and his response is, "You're probably doing a great job, Tim. It's just the horses in front of you."
A little bit.
It's for sure, isn't it?
For sure. No, it makes a difference. No question. And and that's kind of the cool thing about hockey. Not that they're asking me, here and there, but we always bounce things off each other, and all the way through. Even Coach Daniels yesterday, we were talking about different drills, that we were doing versus what they're doing, and it's just it's a unique community.
How do you pick who plays where? Is that already formed when they get up in your area at your age?
To a certain degree, yeah. There's actually this year, Ethan Voigt, who is a senior, is playing defense for us, but he's played forward basically his entire life. And we looked at Ethan and we talked to him a little bit about it. He was kind of on board, and he's been a big contributor for us on the back end versus playing forward for us. So sometimes you have those. I've had kids in the past that vice versa, forward to D or D to forward. Just kind of depends. Yeah.
Talk to them football coaches at Ferris. We've been pretty lucky to have a few of them on here in Tesla. We all know where he's going, Central Michigan. We wish him well. He's just a terrific human being. I just love him to death. I went to Reed City. My wife and I did last week and watched his girls play the JV Reed City up there, and they were down like 13-0. They came back and won, and they were a big part of that. The twins there, Tesla's twins. Coaching, it's just amazing that the commitment, like Bob Daniels, he's been here for 30-some years as head coach. Yeah. How many years coaching have you had here now at the high school?
I think this is actually my 19th year as a head coach.
Wow.
Which blows my mind,
Yeah. So, and you've been pretty successful because, if you look around Michigan, back when you first started, you probably can say it's come from a small little league to big leagues now. I mean, these cities have really grown into hockey. Like Manistee never had it. Cadillac never had it when you started, right?
They had just started, Cadillac had just started. Mount Pleasant had just started. So, certainly it's bigger than it was. No question in terms of number.
And the athletes have gotten so much better, too. Has the game gotten faster, do you feel, or no?
I do. Yeah, I think it's certainly a little bit faster. And I think, it's different every year and kind of unique. But, again, I've always kind of liked what we have here in Big Rapids with our association. It's a different association. It's a house, but we have we're intimately involved with that, and so that's what I've always loved.
One thing you got a little bit tougher than I'm going to say than the pros, and I'll tell you why. We all know what we were like when we were young, and most of us were never wrong, but we got corrected. In the pros, those guys go in there, you already know what they're molded into. A lot of them are already married and maybe got a kid or whatever. But in high school, your growth hormones and everything else, these kids change from day to day, and that's part of life. That's human nature. It's pretty tough to do that. So you almost have to be a psychologist as a coach, don't you?
And it's certainly different now than it was 19 years ago too. So I think that's one of the biggest things I've had to kind of learn to adapt. And each year, still same character, same principles, that never changes. But you certainly it's changed, and you definitely have to. I always say each kid is different, and you don't you hold them accountable, but each kid is different, and their path can be different. So you got to coach them a little different.
Yeah. Brody, what's the most important issue in your life right now? What are you focused completely on hockey, school? You got a girlfriend?
He's got all the above.
All the above. No, but what are you focusing on the most right now?
School always comes first. That's something that I always, focus on. And
smarter than I was. But go ahead. No,
I always like to make church on Sunday. That's top priority too. My dad always told me to always be there.
Get right up that mic there. Go ahead.
Just pretty much church, school, and hockey's just, especially this time of year.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you have to help your teammates? You got some crisis in there once in a while. You see a guy's down or he's going through some mental problem going in his life. Maybe his girlfriend just broke up or whatever. Do you help your boys out?
Yeah. Yep. It's always good to talk to them about stuff, make sure they're doing okay and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Coach, that's one big thing, isn't it?
No, it's a huge thing, and Brody's a great example of that. He was a captain last year as a sophomore, So obviously we think highly of Brody in that, and it's a lot, but we appreciate what he does, and our other captain, Tony Zacco as well.
Tony Zacco.
Isaac Zacco. But no, they do a great job, and it's a long season. It's I know it's not really any different than but the reality is it's a long season. And
it's pretty hard on a coach too, I think. Anyway, is when you're playing your best, that parent sitting up there that has the 8th kid. How many play on a team out there at a time? 6?
5. Yeah, 6 with a goalie.
Pretty good, aren't I? Yeah. For not being a hockey guy, but that's not very many kids. How many's on the team?
We have 19 total with 3 goalies.
So you got to have some unselfish people out there, don't you?
Yeah.
You got to remember this is a team to win, you got to play as a team. Do you handle that pretty good? The heckling that goes on once in a while. I mean, how come you're not playing my kid?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think it is a hard thing, and I always tell parents that it's there's no easy path. It's always going to be tough. Yeah. But I also say I can absolutely tell you that if your kid is willing to work, do the right things, and has that level of skill, he will play. There's no bias. There's no anything like that. We want what's best, and it is a hard thing. We have 3 goalies this year.
Yeah.
And we play 25 games.
Right.
And that can be a very tough thing. And we have 3 really good goalies. So, but they're handling it awesome.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate all 3 of them. And it is hard, but I think collectively, and parents play a big role in that, you know. And it's funny because the pro guys, even the college guys, talk about, being a high school coach. I went on the father's trip one year with the Red Wings, the father mentor trip. And all those guys were talking about how that was the only time when they had parents around, for even parents have pros at that point. And they said, you have them right in town all day, every day. So I said, yeah, that's part of it. And that's also why I like this and love this community. It's been good that way. They back us up. They understand what we want to accomplish.
Brian, you're a parent, coach, been very much involved with both your kids' perspective on your side, being a parent of a hockey player.
Well, if my kid comes home, I tell him to go to the coach, or I tell him to work harder and be more focused. And in the end, it's being a good teammate. And being there, knowing your role and knowing what you need to do. And at some point, you'll be asked to step up. And when that chance comes, take advantage of it.
Yeah. Both of your boys play, and they're both fairly good at it, right? I know Coop's a very proud goalie back there.
Well, he'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not
Cameron's
lacking in confidence. Yeah, they're 2 different kids. One I got to kind of, give a lot of support to, and one's pretty supportive of himself.
But Cameron's a junior?
Junior, yes, sir. Yeah, there's 9 juniors on the team. Yeah. I mean,
oh, wow.
You never want to look ahead, because right now, let's look at the present, and let's look at, East Grand Rapids, and then Lakeshore, Manistee, and take one game at a time. I know it's coach speak, but it's true. Right. But and you don't want to lose the guys that we're gonna lose, the seniors and the 2 foreign exchange players that we have, who've both contributed a lot this year. But yeah, I mean, the 9 juniors, and these 9 juniors all came up with each other from a young age. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and so it's pretty special.
Yeah, I know you really talk about it a lot whenever I see you. I think you guys are pretty excited about our hockey program up there. Tim, going back to you a little bit, people that weren't listening the last time, Tim was lucky enough to marry a Coyote, right?
Yes.
We said Coyote. Yeah. What was her maiden name again? I'm sorry.
Jackson. Erin Jackson. Yeah.
And up in Reed City, they don't have hockey.
They do not.
But they probably got some great athletes that could play hockey.
They do. Yeah.
But anyway, how's she taking it? How she's adapted to your lifestyle?
Oh, she's been awesome. You have to have a great wife to be able to do this job and this profession and coach on the, I'll say on the side. But she's been very, very good about it. Like we talked about, my son's into hockey now.
How old is he now?
He's 8 years old.
And you have 2 children?
Yes. My son Jackson's 8, and then Glennie Rose is 6.
What's her name?
Glennie Rose.
Glennie Rose.
Yeah.
Beautiful name. Yeah, she's 6.
She's 6.
Now, Van Coolens have 2 daughters.
Yes.
Probably the 2 toughest, most beautiful little children that I know in Big Rapids, besides my grandchildren. Yeah. But anyway, they're quite the hockey players. Is your daughter looking at the stick?
She's kind of lately she's been asking about playing, so she kind of runs to her own beat there a little bit. But we've skated a few times, obviously, and she's kind of taken to it a little bit more now. But she also told me one day, I don't think I want to play. I just want to skate. So
good for her.
Yeah. She's into dance and gymnastics right now.
Your boy, he's enthused by it though. He likes it. Huh?
He likes it.
Does he go to your games with you?
As much as he can.
Yeah. Mom brings him.
Yeah. So they, and that's a little bit of the tough part right now is he's got games on the weekends too. So sometimes we're passing a little bit. This weekend's kind of nice because they have their year-end tournament at Patterson. So they actually play at 5 o'clock
really?
on Friday at the same rink. So I'm going to get down early and be able to watch him play.
One thing, it is time consuming, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
How many hours you put in a week?
Oh, during hockey season, during this season, it's anywhere from, 60, 70, sometimes it's 50 to 70, I'd say,
So Ferris knows what you're doing, obviously, and they're probably loving that, aren't they? 'Cause as long as you take care of their ice arena, that doesn't interfere with your coaching.
For sure. I try to really make it a point to make sure we have, my time in there versus I'll say my job, officially, and they understand that, and there's certainly some give and take, but we have weekend tournaments, so a lot of weekends, it's certainly not a 9 to 5, and but during the year it doesn't feel like you're working too, so that's a good thing.
But you love your job.
Yes, sir.
And we alluded to that earlier. But how about girls playing high school? Hockey's a pretty. It actually is probably just as tough as football, right? Your guys are just as tough.
It's tough. Yeah.
You're banging them boards and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ladies out there. that play high school hockey, or
we play. Usually about half the teams we play.
Midland Dow had a female goal, a freshman.
Yes.
Freshman female goalie. She was outstanding.
She was. Yeah.
Brody, what's it like to play against a girl? I mean, you can't hit a girl like you would a guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You do?
No.
Okay.
It's like an unwritten rule, pretty much.
Okay, good. I would hope so.
I can tell you that some of the younger girls are the toughest ones you're going to find.
No question.
Oh, no, I know. Van Coolens are tough girls.
On our team, we have 3 girls that are all defensemen.
Yeah.
And they are on Cooper's
Pee-wees.
hockey team, on the Pee Wee team that Joe coaches.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to back down.
Who are they?
They'll get in your face. You got Ayla Eby, Evelyn Lisinski, and Roz Van Koolen.
Yep.
And they're, our 4 defensemen are those 3 girls and Beckett Goldthwait. And those girls are, they'll get in your face and they'll knock you down. And
They're very tough.
Yeah, at this age. But now we go to high school, and I went to, like I said, the basketball game the other night, and Eli Foster was out there, and I sat with Doc and his wife there, and Penny and I were sitting there watching the game, and that Eli is a man in a freshman body.
Yeah.
That kid's, he's built. And so are several other 9th graders from Big Rapids there. They're built, pretty good boys. The difference between the mature girl coming in the 9th grade and a boy like Eli just crush you. And so when you go into hockey in high school level, do you have any girls that you see could potentially play for you?
Yeah, no question. We actually had Emma Dom was the first girl.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that actually played for us, and it was great. I had coached her brother, and then Kirky was our manager, and got a game in, and Emma was perfect and did a great job.
Yeah.
And she was built, but not big, but she could handle it, and it's about smarts, and some of the smartest hockey players we have are the females.
But the boys do respect the girl.
Yeah.
They didn't bang Emma up.
She got hit a few times.
Really?
But she also hit a few times. So.
Boy, as pretty as she was, you'd think them boys would say, hey, we don't want to hurt you here, girl. But yeah, that's right. She did play. I can see Van Koolen's daughters playing.
Oh, you should see Cammie. She's a little spitfire.
I know. That's what I call her, spitfire.
Yeah.
She's on my son's team.
Yeah, I think
Jax is,
Cammie plays a lot like Joe did back in the day, I think. And, Roz is a little bit more even keel, but you don't want to push her either.
Yeah, they don't come any better than Joe, though, do they?
No.
He knows the game real well, I suppose. Do you ever have any parents come up to you and say, I'd like to be assistant coach, my daughter's playing or my son's playing, I'd like to kind of join your team as a coach? How many assistants do you have? And that's the second question.
So we have 4 assistants right now, Joe being one of them. So
Oh, is he at the high school level?
Yeah, so Joe's been helping.
Does he make all the games and stuff with his work? I guess he can because he does it virtually on
He does a little bit, so it worked out great that way.
Yeah.
He coaches also his Pee Wee team with his daughter, and then helps. So he's busy, but he makes a lot.
I can tell you that although Cameron is a forward, he says that Joe has made a huge difference this year on the defensive side of things, and what a difference he's made over there.
Yeah, no, Joe's great. And
Yeah,
he's been
so
great.
that's nice.
Yeah,
and then
and
who else?
And then we have Brendan Pippin, former player.
Oh, yeah.
So Brendan's back helping out. Matt Crossan. Matt is a former hockey dad. I coached his son. And Matt's been helping for the last few years. Matt is awesome. We're doing some things, in this day and age with video and body ratio stuff that has been a big change as well this year. And Matt's brought that to our team. Lewis McDonald, former player, is helping out. And then Jack Blashill, another former player.
Wow, so you got like 5 or 6 you just left.
Yeah, I think we got, probably 5 all told. And
So what do you do?
no doubt.
I had to throw
for sure.
the lightning in there. No, but
That's great.
So when you get assistant coach,
Yeah.
you like Joe, he's on defense side, doesn't touch nothing else.
No, I mean we all kind of see everything, but yeah, certainly Joe's helping, and he kind of runs the defensive group, and he's been great. I've known Joe since he played.
I love the guy.
And then Brendan is a forward, so he'll work sometimes with the forwards, but also help with the D. And there's so many things that go on.
Right.
We go on these road trips, and we have to have hotels and meals and different things. So each coach is kind of tasked with helping us make sure we get that set. And
during the game, so you're trying to watch the game.
Yeah.
What do you focus on? Where the puck is at, and then you have assistants looking elsewhere to see who was open. Maybe we're missing that guy over in the corner, coach. We should be getting that puck over to him. Does that kind of stuff go on?
It does, yeah, for sure. Well, 2 of the coaches are always up top during the game, so they'll look for anything that the other team is doing, on face-offs or different plays, different systems. And we play a system-based game, which has helped us too, I think, in terms of, we always say, that can help us. If we're 100% within a system, we can have, that ups us, so we're going to be able to compete with some of these teams.
See, like Reed City for years, they've been district champs in football, regional champs.
Yeah.
They've been to I think they're just an awesome football team history up there. But they play the same offense all the time. Does hockey have that kind of system too? Like, do you play the same offense all the time? I know defense, you got to adapt to the different offenses, but some teams run all the time, some teams pass all, like Ferris offense, man. They mix it up more than a lot of plays. But
for sure. I think it changes sometimes year to year, and certain things change, but we've actually been, the last few years, we've had kind of the same, we call it offensive, neutral zone, and defensive systems.
So when you're going to play a well-rounded team like East Grand Rapids, do you think they're already prepping to play against your offense?
To a certain degree, yeah.
So do you ever change it up then and say, whoa, that's not working, we got to do something different?
Yeah, like this weekend or this Friday, we'll probably change it a little bit, kind of going in and do a couple different things. But ultimately, we also talk about if we do our system 100%, we're confident in that. And no matter what, we're going to have that advantage. So,
what's more important in hockey, strength or speed?
I think strength equals speed, to a certain degree, especially in hockey, and it's a lot about your core strength, and that's where your base is for skating.
Is it your legs then, or your upper body?
Yeah, I'd say your core to your legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your boy's got some big legs on him.
He does. Yeah, compared to my chicken legs, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know, they're both big boys, aren't they? Yeah. You do a lot of running, Brody?
No.
No running.
You should see how fast that he was when he was a kid, though.
Right. Well, where do you get your endurance at? On the skates?
Mom.
Yeah, probably just the fall skates that we do.
Do you work out a lot?
Yeah.
Do you? All right. Yeah, get up to the mic. Yeah, I'm sorry. So you don't do a lot of running, but when you're on the skates, do you ever get aired?
Like this time of year, not really, but the start of the season, definitely. It's a little hit when you get those practices every day.
Do you see that, Coach, when a kid's getting aired? You say get him out of there?
Yeah, for sure. And hockey condition is different too, and it's you got to skate and you get to it. Like Brody said, at this time of year, we're pretty well conditioned or hope we are, But
It's one of those things where kids got to know themselves too, and know when to get off.
Yeah.
When they have that the hole or chance to do so, instead of staying out too long.
We basically say 45 seconds should be the max. You should be almost completely gassed at that point.
Really, 45 seconds?
Yeah. If you're pushing yourself to that level.
What is that about hockey that? Is it the whole body's moving in sync, or what? Is that what wears them out?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's honestly, and part of that is a system we have now where we're kind of tracking the guys, but your stride movement, throughout a shift, really should be continually moving. Now there's going to be stops here and there, but once you're moving, your feet don't stop.
Yeah, like basketball, you get down and you stop. You get on defense. Hockey, you don't do that. You're moving.
You're moving for most part.
And then how heavy is that equipment on them? Is that 10 pounders or? What would you say, Brody? Is it pretty heavy?
I'd say 10 to 15 pounds.
You feel that weight?
Not really.
No.
It's pretty equal throughout the whole body.
Do you have a strength program you guys are in high school? I know Cody Haynes up there or Kobe Haynes is a strength coach up at Ferris. He works with all the teams. Do you have somebody like that in high school?
Yeah, you can take classes, but we do like lifts throughout the off season for our hockey team that we do, so that helps a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So then, Brian, questions?
Well, I thought I'd throw some questions at
Yeah,
Brody.
I'm sorry.
I thought we'd have the other
Not
guy.
that you have questions. I'm sorry I've taken so much time here.
No, that's all right.
No,
you go and I just let it flow. Done plenty of interviews in my day. So Brody, just going to start throwing questions. Sorry, your partner's not here because I was going to throw some at him too. What's your favorite sport and why?
Hockey for sure. Just because how fun it is and the team, just the bond that everyone shares together.
What strengths do you have that you think makes you the hockey player you are?
I just think skating has always been probably a good, ideal, thing to have, and I believe I have that. Just skating,
Is there a coach or athlete that you look up to as a role model, and why?
My dad was always there just helping me with hockey, and I remember playing basketball in St. Mary's, and you were actually my coach, and that was actually the most fun I've ever had. Just, playing with friends that you always grew up with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can say here, Brody's dad is Cameron's. If Cameron had a mentor or somebody that he looked up to, Brody's dad is, we coached baseball together, and then he said Cameron's a hockey coach, and I tell you, after a game, one of the people Cameron will go up to and talk to is John, and just look for positive feedback or negative or things to work on, and I think Brody's dad is somebody that's very important in our lives. What's a major highlight or achievement that you've had, hockey, baseball, whatever sport in your life, something that you look back on that has been important?
I think that, every day it's good to get better at your sport, but, just keep working at stuff. And the highlight of hockey probably was 8th grade year for Bantams. We went to the Sioux, Escanaba, and we played in the state runner-up, actually, and we almost won that game, but, they were a good team.
Escanaba, yeah. Yep, and Ironwood. If you go down the list of a lot of the guys that you've played with, that one is the top. And I'll be honest, as parents, too, the bus ride was pretty memorable. Yeah. Well, we won't go there. What kind of advice what's the best advice you think you've gotten from any of the coaches that you've had?
Just keep moving your feet. It's never going to be perfect, but if you keep your feet moving, especially with skating, you're going to create more opportunities, and I think that's helped a lot this year.
Is there a teammate that you've had that you think has been important to you coming up, and why is that? Any older guy that you played with, younger, or any teammate that has been important to you in the success, whatever sport that you've had?
Seniors help a lot because they know a lot of the game, and they know how to help with stuff that you're going through pretty much. So I think my freshman year, like Jack Ozowski, Tanner Flax helped a lot with stuff. And yeah.
And what are your expectations then over the next week, 2 weeks for the team, and success that I expect you guys to have?
You know, just work hard. It's never going to be like how you think it's going to go, but if you keep working hard, and you might expect the best outcome possible.
And that's, look, I know, again, coach, when I would coach kids, I'd say, you know, I want you to vision in your head things that may come up during the course of the game, and how are you going to react? And I've always used this, especially coaching baseball, always be thinking ahead. Like as a law enforcement officer, we go up to the car, I'm thinking, okay, if this happens, what's my next action going to be? And I think in sports, you got to keep that too. Things aren't going to play out the way that you expect them to. So you better be ready to adjust accordingly and make sure it's a positive result.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, we always talk about you can't be on the roller coaster. You know, you can't be too high, too low, but you have to be just focused on the job at hand. And it's never going to be perfect, you know, and but how you respond, you know. So,
Hey, we're going to take a break here, and we'll be right back with Coach Tim Blashill and Brody Ozowski.
Hey, this is Andrew from Big Rapids Tire. Putting off winter, good idea for some, but in reality, pretty much impossible. And if you wait too long to get snow tires, you'll be saying,
should have done it sooner. Dang it.
or something slightly more harsh. Last thing you want is to be slipping and sliding, or even worse, delayed, because you can't get out of your driveway. Get fresh new snow tires from Big Rapids Tire. There's no better feeling than to confidently take on the roads in the rough weather with good, solid snow tires on your car. Confidence and peace of mind. Priceless. Big Rapids Tire. There for you, whatever the weather. Fast and friendly service on Northland Drive, just north of Big Rapids. Call 796-4839. That's 796-4839. Big Rapids Tire.
Come say cheers at Zott's Bar and Grill in Big Rapids. Great food, great prices, and great people, where everybody knows your name. Zott's, people's choice for best soup. You don't want to miss their award-winning burgers and chili as well. Originally opened in 1933 and serving it up ever since. Seasonal beers on tap. Located at 732 North State Street in Big Rapids. Roxanne and Doug at Zott's Bar and Grill are proud sponsors of the Signature Player of the Week for the Curries Hot Stove League every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
And I think we know who the signature player of the week is going to be.
Oh, yeah, signature player of the week,
Yeah.
Brody Ozowski.
There you
Brian,
go.
I'll let you say it.
Ozowski.
Ozowski. Ozowski. What did I call him?
I don't even know.
I've known him forever. I knew your grandpa. I lived over in the old ward over there behind Roverine there for years.
His grandma's one of the
Bruce
best ladies
Forster
around,
worked over
too.
WBZX Big Rapids coming up to 2 minutes before 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Tim, you're involved with a lot of people in Big Rapids. And I'm sure you've had your critics, but it doesn't look like it's aged, yeah? And how do you take suggestions? What do you do there? I mean, do you get a lot of it or not too much?
No, I think I'm always open, you know, and I think that's, again, I've mentioned this before, but the moment you stop learning is the moment you should stop coaching. And I think that's a big part of how I've been mentored and brought in. And so I'm always open. Are we going to take everything in and do it? No, but we're always going to take input.
Right.
And it's not an ego thing. It's a collectively, how can we be the best that we can be?
Yeah, you've done pretty good, Big Rapids. Pretty proud of you. Your dad, what did he do again? I know we talked.
Yeah,
about
my dad was a police officer in Detroit for 10 years with Detroit PD, and then actually took kind of a flyer, about a half pay cut, to go to Lake Superior and start their criminal justice program.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how I ended up in the Sioux.
And they're still up there?
They're in Traverse City now. They moved to Traverse City. Both my sisters live in Traverse City. They've been there, and my parents have been there for about 10 years.
Your dad and ma come down here to watch games at all?
Yeah, as much as they can.
Once in a while, huh?
Yeah, they always come to the 131 Cup generally.
How many kids you and your family, siblings?
2 older sisters, 1 older brother.
So do you guys get together for Christmas and all that?
Yeah, we do. We didn't this year. We unfortunately couldn't make it happen. Usually it's down in Florida. We'll try to get down there to Jeff's. He's always got a schedule. You know, we got to work around his schedule a little bit.
Right.
But but we'll catch a game and get together. We always try to get together for sure.
You know, it's pretty fun to have a good family, isn't it?
It's awesome.
Pretty blessed, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can always tell the kids that come in the station that come from good families, and that my heart pours out to the ones that don't, because they really would love to have one. It's just kind of sad, but we won't go into depression. I'm bad enough doing that. But going back to your brother a little bit, he's had quite a career since he went to Ferris back in the day, and I smile because I just love to see successful people, good people be successful. Your dad's got to be so proud of you guys and your daughters or sisters. But where does he live, down in Tampa then?
Yeah, so he's down in Tampa.
North Tampa? Or?
He's actually right in I consider it south. I don't know. It's right in Tampa.
Do you get down there much? The reason I say that, last year we vacationed down there, and we went up, and there's a real tall building, has a restaurant on the top, and I don't like heights.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, Phil Daniels, and Pam, and my wife, Penny, coaxed me up there through the elevator, and I got up there, and then they have a guardrail that you can go out and stand. You ever been up in that town? And it oversees Tampa Bay.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, Lord be heaven. I tell you, I had to drink a lot of whiskey. But,
that
beautiful down there.
It is beautiful for sure. And he's, obviously he's, I think at some point he wants to get another chance to coach, be a head coach, but he loves the situation. One of his best friends is John Cooper, the head coach. So they've been really working well together. And I couldn't ask for a better spot for him.
It's all about relationships, isn't it?
It's a big part. Yeah, it's a big part.
Do you ever think about going on a little bit further up, or are you pretty content with the family here? And I know they're young, and you get some time to think about that. But
I think I had opportunities early, and but I'm very, very thankful. John Cooper actually offered me a couple jobs early, and he always gives me a hard time, but I wouldn't have changed it for the world.
No,
for my life and where I'm at and in this town, and I enjoy it. So.
What is it about this town that keeps you here, Jeff? Because I mean, you look at Sault Ste. Marie. You got the locks up there. You got some nice. I think my good friend Kurt Parker lived up there. Parker Hardware. Him and I were best of friends, and I'd go up there and visit him. And wow, you had like 14 bars on that one street. I mean, you're going one bar and out the other bar. It's like, wow, you go out the back and you come out the front for another bar. So I remember that. It was a lot of fun that night. Whoa. Yeah. Go back in those days. But Big Rapids entices a lot of people to stay here. What is one? Is it your wife's homestead in Reed City that keeps you here? Or what is it about Big Rapids? It's such a great community.
I think it's the same that I feel with my work at Ferris. It's the people, it really is. And not to be, it's the truth. And it reminds me of the Sioux, like myself growing up. It was a college town, small college town. Right. And I've fallen in love with the people in terms of who I work with, my, friends, the hockey community. This was a special hockey place, and kind of a unique hockey place, and I always compared it to my hometown growing up.
I don't go to enough basketball games. I guess we got a great team going right now at the high school, so I'm going to try to get up there before the year end up. But Friday nights are always pretty busy for me. But something about hockey that separates it from all other sports, and that is the unity. It's so strong, isn't it?
It is.
And it's unselfish for some reason. And the reason I say that, I see them at Zot's Bar pregame stuff, and it's all the parents together, and they're all leaving together, almost hand to hand. Yeah. You don't see that in other sports as much.
Yeah.
I don't. What is that about that you think that sport has?
Brian can talk, but it's like a lifestyle, and
what is it, Brian?
It's an intimate.
It's a cult.
Really?
We've had this conversation before. Cameron started skating when he was 3 or 4, and I was talking with Charlie Pippen, and because Brendan was a little bit older,
right?
And I said, we're doing some ice skating, and Charlie's like, it's a cult. I'm like, dude, the kid's 4 years old. We're just ice skating. He's like, it's a cult. I'm telling you. And here we are, 13 years later, and Cooper's grown up at the ice arena, and you talk about. We've been fortunate with the group we've had with Brody and Cameron's group. Is we've always been a very tight-knit group from a young age. I'm not sure if that's always the way it is, but that's the way it's been with us. And with Cooper's group, I'm starting to see the same with his team. Very tight-knit. And it's a small world. I use this as an example. So we played in Bay City on Saturday, and I'm sitting in the car kind of waiting for things, and Heather texts me and says, hey, Jen Snyder's there. Jen Snyder's her best friend from college, who had a boy playing there in Pee-wees, and Jen happened to grow up in Saskatchewan with Chris Kunitz.
Yeah.
And her and Jen, our kids are like brothers. And so I go over the rink and sit with Jen and watch Rye, her youngest boy, play before we were playing. And then she had to quick go because her older son, Brody, is a senior on Heartland, and it was senior night, so she was leaving Bay City to head back down for that. And it's just, you talk about, it's close-knit, small, but there's something different.
Yeah. One thing about all sports is, though, they do dictate who your friends are. The kids do.
Oh, yeah. And that's
sure.
why it's important that, you're not always fortunate to have your kid with that group. And in our case, I look back, you don't want it to end because we've been lucky.
Well, that will follow up with this here. We don't want this to end either, but it has to. It's 1039's been very good to us today, letting us come on air. Tim, I really have enjoyed your conversation. Again, we'll have to have you back on. You enlighten a lot of people out there, I know, with your life story and your journey in life, and I really appreciate the kind words about Big Rapids, because we need that positive outlook that the future looks good to us. Brody, I want to thank you for coming in this morning. I know we took you out of the high school there, and I know you'd rather be in the schoolroom. I know I'm lying like HELL too right now, Bobby. Brian Miller's greatest sheriff we've ever had in the last 4 years anyway. We appreciate you co-hosting this today. Any last words?
Again, the reason I scheduled this the way I did is because I want the community, Big Rapids High School students, everybody to come out and support the Big Rapids hockey team. Next Tuesday, 7 o'clock, they play Lakeshore. You don't never want to look ahead, but we win that. And to have a packed house on that Thursday, the 20th, I believe, against East Grand Rapids, I think would mean the world. After watching our boys play in front of their student body against Midland Dow.
It's a difference maker.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we leave the studio, you write down the dates, and I'll put it on the marquee at the station.
Yeah.
So if you folks want to be reminded, go by our marquee at 620 Maple, Curries Amico. We'll have it on the sign out there, and we wish the best of luck. And I'll tell you what, right now, I'm going to try to be there. If my little grandkids don't play basketball that night, I'll be there for sure.
Well, if you bring your grandkids, they may not be playing basketball any longer. Right? I'm going to warn you.
It is funny now, just in the last words, I know I talk too much, but this last weekend, across the street, my neighbor there, Dennis Baylor, they have a little pond there. And I see all the grandkids, all the neighbor kids all running over with brooms. And they were going over to sweep the snow off, shovel the snow off that pond so they could skate and play hockey. Mm-hmm. And I don't think any of them play hockey, but they were out there. I never got over to watch them, but I'm sure they'll be out there this weekend too. But it's exciting. I know it's an exciting sport. So, folks, if you get a chance, when Tuesday, you say?
Yeah, next Tuesday at 7. And then if we move on from Manistee, we play the next Thursday. I think it's the 5 o'clock game.
Oh, is it?
I think it is the earlier game. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to have you back on maybe at the end of the season. Hopefully that won't be for about a month.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
Brody,
absolutely.
then we'll have to have your coach back on here
For sure,
and talk about what the year was like. We'll promise you that, folks. God bless you all.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
And thank you again to our sponsors, Zotz Bar and Grill, and also Big Rapids Tire.
Great.